Finesse, elegance, and longevity. That's what Robert Parker said about the 2004 vintage. And today, we're going to really break down what I think is one of the great opportunities in wine history. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Wine Library TV. I am your host, Gary Vaynerchuk, and this, my friends, say it with me, is the Thunder Show, aka the Internet's most passionate wine program, and I'm darn excited about today. We're flipping the switch. No laid back Friday. We're going with intense Friday. No hard feelings about yesterday because we didn't get to 1,000 the day before. And thanks for all the condolences and chin ups and buckle up cowboys and all that jazz. But today, what we are going to do is we're going to talk about business. That's right, business. Not Wine Library's business, not the wine business, but your business. The business at hand of buying and purchasing wine is a complicated one because wines are expensive, and a lot of you are on a budget for this product that you don't really need. It's not a necessity. We're not pouring this into the car to drive your children to school, but it is a great hobby, a great pleasure, something that brings people together, and something I know a lot of you really enjoy. And so we talk a lot about 2005 Bordeaux. We just did an episode the other day. You saw the link ups. I've been screaming about them for 2 years. A lot of you, most of you, missed the opportunity. But that being said, last night I was in discussion. We had a Bordeaux dinner over in West Orange. It was a really nice time. And, something sprung in my mind. Then there was a great discussion on some forums today about 2006 Bordeaux, which you may remember after I came back last March, I thought was a very, very good vintage, but I was worried about the pricing. They were overpriced. And we've talked about 2004s here and there on the show, but today I kind of did a search randomly, and Mott, link it up, baby, the 2004 Bordeaux search, on what we had, and I said to myself, this is really and I talk about the last of the Mohicans. This is a really serious opportunity. Bordeaux has changed, folks. Even if the 2006s come in and readjust, you may notice one thing. Wine Library, and the other hat I wear, as a company, did not offer 2006 futures. Why? Because I just honestly did not believe they were a good investment for our consumers, and I didn't want to hose people. And so we stayed away from it. I actually think the prices will come down slightly, but they will not come down to the 2004 levels. And the 2004s are running around stores all over the country, all over the world right now, and are possessing enormous opportunity. They're a vintage that a lot of wine experts, a lot of Bordeaux experts have compared very favorably to 83, 85, and 88. All three, if you're drinking wine nowadays, older wines, you realize are very solid, exciting vintages. And Parker, who really is the Bordeaux guru of this generation, really where he makes his mark and where I think he's a fabulous wine critic, says the 04s are even favorable to the 99s. And if you've been drinking Bordeaux, a lot of the stuff, especially from the left bank in 1999, is exceptional. So we're talking about a very strong vintage that was sandwiched between the very sexy, over-the-top fruit bombs of 2003 and obviously the greatest of all time, Muhammad Ali-style 2005s. And here we are, cubbyhold, with a very interesting vintage, 2004. Let's talk about it. July and August, it was much cooler than normal, much. And people were really worried about it being a washout. And then what happened was September was much warmer and drier and gave a very long, harvest, a very long one. And what really happened was the 04s out the bat were backwards and awkward, and a lot of the critics, like Parker at a barrel, kind of went soft on them. And then as time came on, people started rating them stronger and stronger, and they started becoming pretty interesting wines. I mean, of the 4 or 5 wines here, we have a 90-point Parker wine, an unscored wine, a 92 Parker, a 90 Spectator, and a 95 Spectator, 6th wine of the year, Chateau. And interesting, it's $151 now, but was available even in the 80s or 90s, or maybe even the 70s on Premier, on futures. So you can see how the prices escalate. And so, today, as I was driving in and knowing last night we purchased a lot more 2005 Bordeaux, and a lot of our prices on our 05 futures went up today because of that, because you can't sell below cost by law. I just started saying, wow, 2004 is such an opportunity, 2004 is such an opportunity, 2004 is such an opportunity. And so today, instead of laid back Friday, instead of going outside, I thought we were going to do it in the snow. Mott's real thrilled we're not. It's turned to rain. So what I'm doing is I'm really going to give you one of my favorite and intense shows. Now listen, these wines may bomb and completely kill my philosophy, but I'm a very big fan of 04 Bordeaux, have been drinking them heavily, and I just think this is going to be a fun, exciting show, and I'm really excited to do it for you. 2004 Clos de l'Otoire, 2004 Grand Cru, Class A, Saint-Emilion, 29 US dollars, 90 points Robert Parker, 90% Merlot, 10% Cabernet Franc, made by the legendary Stefan Darencourt, one of the great winemakers in the world. And here we go, right off the bat, the Clos de l'Autoir. I mean, we're talking about a $50 2005, maybe even higher now. But this rolls in at $29. But not for long. I mean, you know, a lot of 04s came into the market before the dollar collapsed, enabling them to kind of be in our market at a very attractive price. Let's give this wine a snippy sniff. I love the tomatoes right out the bat, baby. Tomatoes in a can. I love it. Little hints of asparagus, a little black cherry, little blackberry. Let's give it a whirl. Really solid backbone, great structure. I'm really enjoying the tannins. Nice bitter dry. If you're down with dry, you're down with this wine because it's got great dryness, long black fruit on the finish, solid wine, little hollow in the mid palate, still awkward and tight. What's really fun about these 04s, these have been decanting for about 3, 4, 5 hours, poured back in, but still could use a lot more cellaring. They're double bubbles. Say it with me, double bubble. And double bubble in the wine world is where it's at. You can drink them now, but you can put them away for 10 years. Now, they're a little bit more awkward than the more drinkable 2003, and heck, even the 05s. But what I like about saying drinking now is I think you will find these wines pair beautifully with food. A lot of restaurateurs, I think, are going to be really focusing on 2004s. Because they're very food-friendly wines. They're classic clarets. And, you know, 83, 85, 88, just 3 vintages I adore. They're undershadowed by 90 and 82, but great vintages. And again, 29 bones for a wine like this. I want you, come on, challenge you, bring it. Bring me a classic, well-made Merlot at 30 bones from around the world that's not over the top and oak monstered out that can compare with this wine. It's going to be very difficult. You will be hard pressed. It is a challenge. And I'm telling you right now, this is solid stuff. Now, for all the excitement, because I'm excited, I mean, this is a, you know, nothing makes me happier than to bring value to my viewers. I mean, all of you are trying different things and spreading the Vayniac Vayner Nation gospel. I know that, and I know a lot more people are watching. But where I really get off is knowing all the emails from people over the last couple of weeks when the Wine Spectator came out with the 2005 Bordeaux list that have bought wines for $40 and now they're 70 and 80 and saying, thank you, I bought 05 Bordeaux because of you. That makes me happy. Or the best wines that I've ever had are because of you. Or I try different wines now because that's where I get excited. And I really am very passionate of what I think about the 2004 Bordeaux vintage as being a real, shockingly big opportunity if you like classic Bordeaux style wines. I mean, they're even cheaper than a lot of the Italian wines that are out there, or counterparts even in Rhone, Chateau. I mean, these are very well priced classic wines that will never see these kind of price points ever again. 05, no chance. 06, no chance. 07, not going to be an exciting vintage, still no chance to see these kinds of levels in pricing. 29 bones, 90 Parker. I'm going to back that up and go 90 points as well. Very solid. I'm a little concerned about the mid palate. I think it drops off, but the back end is great. The front end fruit is solid. Great job. Stefan Darencourt is a crazy good winemaker, and it's a good start to the show, Mott. I have big hopes for this show. Let's see what's going on here. Just going to give it a little bit of a rinsey rinse. Biggest glasses in the house. You know we're bringing thunder today. Wine numero 2. Say it with me, 2. What's that? It's knocking. It's opportunity. Chateau Haut-Parys, 2004 Saint-Emilion Grand Cru. 70% Merlot, 25% Cabernet Sauvignon, and 5% Cab Franc. $28 US, aged in 18 months in new French oak. Super excited about drinking this. Nice little, look at this. Excellent with small game, goose or duck meat, or mushrooms. Solid point. 28 bones, Haut-Parys. Let's see what's going on here. Great color, gorgeous. Snippy sniff time. Wild, very interesting. I almost get a mushroomy kind of black forest mushroom kind of component going on here, almost like a ragu kind of component here. Maybe even a little ratatouille action on the nose, which I'm enjoying. Again, a little bit with the tomato sauce and meat, almost like a sloppy Joe that you would get in grade school. Do you remember what sloppy joes looked like? There was like a crushed meat. It was like kind of nasty there. Like third graders giving them sloppy joes. I mean, it was a mess in my cafeteria at Martin Luther King Grammar School in Edison, New Jersey. Big ups. If you went to Martin Luther King in Edison, New Jersey, you need to leave a comment. I'm going to send you mine. I mean, anything you want. Sniffy sniff. God, this is really opening up nicely. Again, grapefruit. I'm really enjoying the strawberry, but there's this like sloppy joe tomato meaty component. That's gorgeous. Let's give it a whirl. Oof. Silk alert. That's right. We have a silk alert. And silk alert means this. When I taste wine for the wine lib in my profession, the last decade before the Thunder Show was born, I would look for the silk alert. When I taste silk on the back end finish, when it's that smooth, when I have this pomegranate, silky, little oak, grab my hand, get off me. I held off the oak monster. So did this wine. Great job. Little hints of oak, but gorgeous, silky smooth. This is where oak really helps you. Silky smooth finish. This wine is ready to rock Zor the hizzy right now. Great polish, pomegranate. Mid-palate loaded with black currant, which is gorgeous. Subtle chocolate on the entry. Great length. Real explosive palate presence on this wine, which is very impressive. Gorgeous. I mean, pure, beautiful cherries on the mid-palate transition to the finish. A little bit light for some people. Keep that in mind. I want to put that out there. Great to drink by itself. A absolute darling of a pairing with a duck. And, you know, once again, mushrooms on the nose and even on the tail end finish. Still tasting it. There's like a hint of pickle juice, green pepper, sourness on the 27% into the tasting process, which could turn off some people. Embraces me, but a lot more fruit than you think. A dumb phase always says, if I see Gary likes veggies and pickles, I'm out. Dummy, you don't need to worry about this, my man. This has got the polish and the cleanliness, and the clarity that you look for in a classic Bordeaux. This is what makes me sad. This is what we will not be having the opportunity to enjoy in the future. Bordeaux like this will be rolling in at $50, $60 right out the gate. Wines like this at 28 bones are not going to be found. You're definitely not going to get this in California. You're not going to get this anywhere. So this is a really, really nice wine. I actually like it a little bit more than the Clos. I'm going to go 91 points on this Haut-Parys, and at 28 bones, a shocking, gorgeous steal. Next wine. Clos Luniers, 2004, Côte de Cassillon, 80% Merlot, 20% Cabernet Sauvignon. This is owned by Gerard Purse, the guy who brings, in some of the great wines in the world. He bought this in 2001, so he's been really working this property as a Côte de Cassillon. Think Purse from Montbusquet, Pavie. So he's been in charge here since '01. He has a very big New World fruit bomb style. This wine rolls in at 40 U.S. bones, and I'm excited to try it. I'm really, really curious how many people have been drinking '04 Bordeaux, because I think they're really interesting. They are a little young. The one thing about these, in comparison to 2001, which I also thought was a great opportunity vintage on the heels of 2000, which was is that '01s were a little bit more drinkable out the gate. These '04s are still tight and explosive. Definitely the Clos, the Haut-Parys was really showing pretty well. Let's see what the Clos is doing here. Sniffy sniff. Big fruit, lots of cherries, cherry bomb cola coming through on the nose. A little bit of oak monster. Let's give it a whirl. A lot of coffee, mocha. Oof. Zinging tannins on the finish. Big boy. Like that second grader, that's like 5'9", $130, and everybody else is like rolling in at like 3'6". That's what this wine is. Way over the top, too explosive, a little New World for a little too New World for me. Good solid amount of the creaminess, like a cream puff kind of explosive flavor. Definitely heavy on the Oak Monster. He's in the hizzy, and he's bringing his 2x4 made of Twizzlers, and he's smacking your face with it. So he's kind of beating you down. I'm losing completely. Like, I'm done. If this was UFC, it's over. They're tapping me out. Too oaky. I'm tasting splinters. I really don't want Woody Woodpecker flying in and pecking at my mouth because there's that much wood up in my grill piece right now. I'm passing on this wine. I'm going to go 86 points. This is not my style. It may be yours. It surely is Parker's, 92 points. But to me, just too many splinters in my mouth that I'm just not going to be able to kind of give a pass to. I mean, splinters hurt, and we got to pull them out. You're kind of pissed. I'm pissed with this kind of effort. To me, this is overdone. Too much oak. Pavi and Mabusquet are monster and fruit bomb, but they don't go over the top. And I think the fruit and the purity of the fruit and the quality of the fruit sustain it and just make it one massive, gorgeous thing. This, I think, goes over the top. I mean, it's kind of like the makeup thing. Some girls can really pull off lots and lots of makeup because it's just part of the persona, but others it's just caked on too much. This is a caked on too much theory for me. I'm giving it a pass, and let's move on. And so gives a perfect example of what we always talk about with wine. This is the highest rated of the bunch, but for my personal palate, nowhere close. And again, shows you that as much as I'm in love with 2004 Bordeaux as a whole, right? Here's, you can't just go out and just blindly buy, all 04s and assume you're gonna like them. You can blindly buy them. That's what I think is actually the best thing to do. Chateau, Canon, Premier, Grand Cru, Class A, Saint-Emilion. This wine rolls in at $55 US, 90 points, double nickels, $55 US, 90 points Wine Spectator, predominantly Merlot with a little bit of Cab Franc. I actually don't have the exact blend breakdown for you. I apologize. And let's see what Canon can do. Can the Canon shoot out and bring the thunder? Snippy snip. Nice dark chocolate, little hint of cherries, which is pretty on the nose. Kind of reminds me of IHOP. Think the pancakes, and you know how how disgusting the sauces are. You don't even want to touch them. But like the strawberry sauce, and you put it on top, like the syrup. That's what this smells like. Let's give it a whirl. A slightly, and I'm talking like the horse's, photo finish, by a nose, a slightly more elegant finish on the Canon over the upper zone, but not as interesting on the palate. A little over oaked as well. We're seeing some oak in the old world, and it's kind of bothering me. What did the Oak Monster do? Like go to Travelocity and hop on you're right. The Oak Monster does have his passport. A slightly more elegant finish, very driven by chocolate-covered cherries, which I'm enjoying as a whole. Not as intriguing and much more one-dimensional, but very similar to the Au Brisson. Very interesting. But here's where it gets pretty rad. Almost to the button, 28 to 55, twice the price, and in my opinion, an inferior version of the Au Brisson, or at least in the same ballpark. I'm going to go 89 plus points on the Canon. I'm going half a point, I guess a plus means, underneath the Spectator. I think it's significantly less interesting. There's a little bit of plum. Maybe you put like a shot of gin on a plum and you bite it. That's what this tastes like. But for me, all in all, solid. I like it. No way for 55 bones. Nope. Paz, 3 Z's. And we're going to move on. And now we're going to treat ourselves. C-Mod. Oh, yeah, that's right. $150. It's a $10 rinse. I'm not doing the show off. I'm just, that's how we have to taste it. I'm sorry. I don't feel good about it either. Trust me. What do you think happens with the bucket after the show? No waste here. I'm from an immigrant family. We don't waste anything. We used to use toilet paper instead of napkins. I didn't even know what a napkin was until I got married. Anyway, Chateau Lascombes 2004, $151. Again, that is the current price. We're looking at more in the 70s, 80s, 90s, I think, on tranche, premier tranche. 6th wine of the year from the Wine Spectator. 76% Cabernet Sauvignon, 13 Merlot, 10 Cab Franc, one of the great producers of wine in the world. I'm a humongous fan of Lascombes. I think they just are ripping it, time in and time out. Sniffy sniff. Veggies. Veggies, baby. That's where it's at. I'm telling you, folks. I know you love the fruit, but you're going to come to the veggie side. Come to the dark side of the veggies. Beautiful broccoli head coming through on this nose. I really adore the purpley plum kind of component, which I'm enjoying. So the plums and the broccoli are coexisting nicely on this. I'm getting a little, you know, what I smelled the other day, spent a little time at a Citarella in New York City. I was going through the tops of carrots and just, you know, smelling the tops of carrots. That's right, I'm contaminating food all over New York City. I'm smelling the tops of carrots, very distinct flavor, and I get a little bit of that. So I've been wanting to use carrot top Mott on the show, and I think I finally have my first opportunity. It took about 4 months now. I've been looking for it. God, here it is. It's coming through kind of interesting. Little black pepper, too. Very nice. Let's give it a whirl. The not cool people that roll in with 05 Bordeaux's in 20 years and 03s have a lot more cachet than they deserve. I'm dying for the 03s to fall apart in 10 years because they're overripe and over-extracted, and everyone's going to be like, what happened? I'll tell you what happened. They're fruit bombs, and they didn't have the backbone bone structure that they needed to last that long. This is good wine. This is really good wine. Very polished. I love the granite meets mocha. I mean, you went to Starbucks, you got your mocha, and when you weren't looking, the disgruntled server, well, now they're nice again, right? They had that whole close down the store. But a couple months ago, yeah, they took some gravel from the parking lot and threw it right in there. Smell that, taste that. That's what this tastes like. It's very, very polished. Great mid-palate. Something I always look for. From the first flavor to the last flavor, there is that transition. That, you know, it's the meat of the wine. And a lot of people don't talk about it. But a great mid-palate on this wine. So I'm enjoying that. Great little subtle hints of vanilla. There's that mocha kind of component, same thing. Young, hints of vegetables. Well made, little tomato sauce. A lot of tomato sauce today. A little bit surprisingly short finish. That's the one thing I'm going to say. Kind of disappears a lot more than I would have expected. But very, very well made. I'm going to score this wine 92 points. I'm not as enthusiastic, crazy, 92 plus as the Wine Spectator is on this wine. I think they're, you know, Parker loves it too. I mean, I might be in the minority here. Could be the timing. These wines are going to evolve a lot. I think what's fun about the 04s is you got to kind of, it's like a tiger syndrome. You got to catch the tail because they're going to change a lot. Very backward, introverted, different, interesting vintage. One that is going to be a lot of fun to play with, and you can afford to play with this vintage. And that's the key of the 04s. This is pretty, I mean, 4 wines out of 5. Did I go 9? I mean, and 189. I mean, these were good wines. I mean, this was a really solid lineup. This is what I've been seeing from the 04s. As a whole, I've been really shocked. I had an 84 point, you know, Robert Parker Bordeaux the other day from 2004 that blew my socks off. I thought I totally missed that one. It was like a $20, $30 wine. Chateau Rose 2004, which I've loved, and we did on 12 Days of Christmas episode, rocks the hizzy. When we had Jeffrey Davies on here, let's link that up. We had a bunch of 04s. Even an 02, which is a crap vintage, really showed well. But that 104, I remember it was like a $17 wine with the red label. Then we sent the rocks out. We got to link that up. That was killer. I should have brought that back on today. I don't know. Very interesting stuff. I'm in a cozy mood today. You know, last couple days, I'm like, what am I upset about? Didn't get to 1,000. And by the way, for the one guy who says, don't worry that you can't get 1,000, I got 1,000. We got 1,000 for my birthday. Got like 1,300. So in a weird way, maybe you like me more than you like Wine Library TV, because my birthday, you almost doubled what you gave Wine Library TV, so maybe I'm looking at it wrong. Maybe they don't like you, because for my birthday, they gave me 1,300, but you're part of this, and it's what it is, right? It's all you. You're like negative 700 comments. Maybe they're mad at you since you still haven't put out the t-shirt. You're slacking, my man. Question of the day. My gut is ringing about 2004s. And I think in 5-10 years, a lot of people will look back and see that during the 2007, 2008 years was a really great pocket to buy 04s as Bordeaux has completely changed. Do not underestimate what is going on in China, India, Russia, and many other places around the world. They don't care about Screaming Eagle, my friends. They're not so awe-inspired by Turley or Bryant family or even the Australian cult wines, Spain, and they don't want to hear anything about Portugal from me. They are focused on Bordeaux, and these places cannot make more wine. They're land blocked. They're not buying more vineyards. This is not hula hoops. We can't make more. This is not anything that you can produce. They've got what they've got, and as demand explodes and this world gets smaller and the interest in wine goes up, I think Bordeaux easily, first quotes are going to be rolling in at $15,000 a case coming out the bat. And I think wines like this that are rolling in now at $20 to $40 are going to easily roll in at $75 to $100 in the next half decade to a decade. I think we're going to see a complete transformation on the pricing on Bordeaux because of its global brand presence. And I think this is a time to act right now. That's what my gut tells me, Mott. We're going to be out as Wine Library going out and trying to find more things. But more importantly, my question of the day to you is this, and this is not completely wine related, just in general, it's fun. What is the best gut feeling purchase you've ever made? It was a gut feel, and you won. And I've won by you guys watching this show. I appreciate it. I understand the comments. You all assumed everybody else was going to leave a comment. 5 people emailed me that. That's how voting must work in this country, right? We're going to have some upsets. Everybody's going to think, that person's going to win, and if you don't go and execute...
That's why I say you got to play the game.
You got to play the game, man. Is that what you say?
That's what I said.
That's what you walk by, and you always like... And I'm trying to figure out... I always think you're saying, what do you want for lunch? But you're saying, you got to play the game. Because of you, with a little bit of me, have a great weekend, kiss your family. We're changing the wine world.